Hey guys, welcome back. It's your favorite Gimp with the Limp, and I'm back with some more Tank Duel by GMT Games. We're going to jump right back into where we left off. Remember, we completed our first round, moved up on each other a little bit. Not too much happened in the first round. I'm hoping this one we're going to get a little stuck in. We're going to each have some extra cards. The Roboto's going to have some extra cards. I'm going to have some extra cards thanks to the location that we're at now because we've moved up onto each other. I'm in a little better position because I have him spotted, but he doesn't have me spotted. But me firing at him will, affect that. But we'll have to see what happens. All right, so we are going to start off right back into our player phase, our sequence of play. It's going to start with the draw phase. Remember, we're going to go a little faster than we did on the previous videos with it. We're not going to explain every single little aspect on this one. I'm going to try to focus on the new stuff that we haven't covered yet. So I'm going to draw up my hand. Remember, my hand's going to be a base of 4 plus 2 per tank. So I'm up to 6. I don't get any bonus for any elite because I've just got a regular commander. But I am getting +1 for my location for being in this red range. So now I get 7 cards. This is good for us. So let's draw them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, here we go. Let's see. We've got a command card, a move card, fire card. That's good. Move card, leadership card, and a mud card. Okay, I can already tell from this we are absolutely going to be using this fire card and this leadership card to try to wreak some havoc onto our enemies here. And I might end up having to use this command card as my initiative because remember, I wanted to go first. I want to try to shoot at him before he shoots at me. And although this mud card has a initiative rating of 17, the command card has an initiative rating of 5, a battle number of 5. Okay, so that would get me a lot. That would almost guarantee me going first. The 17 almost would guarantee me too, but there's still a good chance he could pull a lower card. Let me think for a second. I'll let you know. Okay, so I thought about it a little bit, and looking at my cards, I know I'm going to be playing the fire and the leadership for an attack. Okay, so we're not going to use those when it comes to the initiative. That leaves these as my options. I know I'm not going to use any of the move cards as my initiative card, which leaves these two as the option. And what I think I'm going to do is hold on to this command card because I can use this to give myself hull down, which will make me even more defensive, prevent him from being able to shoot into my hull. Yeah, just give me a better chance at surviving. So I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm going to play the mud card as my initiative card. So we're going to place that into my initiative box, and now we got to go through the whole little rigmarole to see what the initiative card is going to be for our Robota. All right, first we're going to go over his peril because I want to determine his peril level before we get into the initiative because we're going to need that. All right, so it's +1 for each tank that has the Robota tank spotted. So that's going to be +1 because I have him spotted. And I don't think anything else is going to apply for each ammunition. No. +2 for each player tank that has him flanked. No, I don't have him flanked. +2 if the active Robota tank has a mine, mud, or field cards holding box. Okay, so yep, boom, boom. He is up to 3 now. +2 if he's bogged. He did not get bogged. +1 or -1 for any that he has spotted. He doesn't. No acquisition, and that he doesn't have us flanked. So his peril level is actually a 3 right now. That's actually pretty high. Okay, so now that we have his peril level determined, we can get into the rest of it because when we're doing the initiative, we have to worry about that peril level because to determine if he is going to be considered in peril, if the target number of the first card we draw for his initiative is less than or equal to his peril level, then it's going to be in peril, and that's going to cause this card to flip. So let's draw his 3 cards. First card, let's slide these back a little bit out of the way. Little reference cards here. First card, second card, and third card. Okay, so these are the 3 for his potential initiative. Looking at this, if the target number on this first card is an 8, so his peril level is not an 8. All right, it has to be less than or equal to. So he's not going to be considered in peril, and he will stay on this side of his robotic card. Had it been a target number of 3 or under, though, we would have flipped the card over, and he would have changed to his in peril side and changed up his actions. All right, so he's got his 3 cards out, 68, 45, and 87, which is perfect. Mine is 17, so I'm guaranteed to go before him. Let's see what he's going to do. If it is in peril, use the reveal battle card with the lowest number. He's not. If any reveal battle card has a number lower than 10, none of them do. If any reveal battle card has a number greater than 90, nope. So if it has a target spotted, and it doesn't, otherwise, so it would do this stuff, but otherwise choose the battle card with the highest battle number, and that's going to be this 87, so that will be placed there. He will guaranteed be going second on this round, which is good because I have a chance to put some rounds down range into him. Okay, so now is the first time that we're actually going to see some rounds go down range and some actual attacks going on, okay? Well, let's walk through this pretty slow. First off, I'm going to start with a field action, which is basically playing my command card here. I can use it to gain one of the following, spot, a hold down, or attempt to conceal at a better chance of actually getting the conceal, but I'm going to use it for the hold down. So place that there, and where's my hold down marker? I'll place my hold down marker there. So now I'm considered hold down. So if he were to fire at me and hit me somewhere besides the turret, that's going to be like null and void. So this is really good for me right now. I'm hold down, I'm behind a building, I'm in good position. So let's set these move cards off to the side. We're not going to need them because I am going to perform a fire action. Now what I'm doing is I'm playing the fire 1. It is, my fire level is an 8, so it's definitely equal to or under that 8. And that gives me a plus 10 to hit. Just in and of itself gives me a plus 10 to hit. Now we're at 400 meters, right? Yeah, we're 800 meters apart from each other. So my current number is 82 without modifiers is 82. Just with this fire card alone, that puts me up to 92. So 92 or under, I'm going to be hitting him. Penetration is a 10 at this range. Not perfect, but I should be able to penetrate him, no problem. But we'll have to see how that goes because some modifiers could affect that. I really hate to hit him and ding. So we're going to play this card first, and I'm also adding this leadership card to it because it does have a few different options, one of which is add plus 20 to hit when played with a fire card. Now, more than likely, I wouldn't really need to play this card because I'm already going to have a good amount of stuff applying to me to make it to where I have a good chance to hit this guy. But we're playing it just so you guys can see all the potential bonuses. One thing to keep in mind, though, is there is a guaranteed miss in this game. If it's when you're drawing for your attacks, if it's a 96 through 100, that's a guaranteed miss, no matter how many modifiers you've got. So you can't get a guaranteed hit, no matter how many modifiers or bonuses that you apply to yourself. Okay, so right here on our player aid is our fire procedure, and you see there's a lot of steps. Just like everything with this game, there's a lot of steps involved with it. So I've declared my target, played my cards, I'm going after this guy, and now we got to adjust for all the other different little modifiers that can potentially affect it, okay? So our base number, of course, which we already talked about, being 82, and then we're looking at these. And these are all the different little modifiers that can apply. Like I'm getting plus 20 for my leadership card. I'm getting plus 10 for the fire card. You can get bonuses if the target's acquired. I haven't acquired it yet. You can get bonuses if it's flanked, if I'm flanking it rather, and I don't have it flanked. And then there's bonuses or minuses from terrain, smoke, or anything like that. So looking at his terrain, he is in a mud card. Now, this doesn't provide him any cover, so that's not going to help him out. But it does say place the mud card, in this holding box, and a minus 10 to hit fire actions targeting this tank gain a plus 10 to hit instead. Mine isn't a minus 10, so I'm not going to gain that bonus on top of it. so we don't have to worry about his terrain. But basically, he's not getting any bonus cover, so there's no subtraction yet to my modifier. Now, where are we at? We have to subtract for his cover, and then for his size, the target size modifier. His size modifier is a 5. So currently, what have I got? I got an 82, a 92, which goes up to, what is that, like 104? Yeah, something like 122. When you subtract it, basically the only way that I can miss with the modifiers that are applied is if I roll, or draw rather, a 96 to 100, because my modifiers put it up to the max. Oh, I did forget to mention it when I started my turn, but yes, there is the administration phase. But the administration phase, again, doesn't have anything going on with it because I'm not on fire, I don't have broken morale, and there's no objectives that I need to score for in this scenario that we're playing, which is where we're just shooting at each other. Now, there is one step here that is a little different, and I was just reading up on it again to refresh myself, because this is one of those things that concerning the Robota that really just kind of throws me off, okay? And that has to do with the tactics card, because tactics are something that you can play, and it's kind of, the way to think of it, it's like a reaction card. I'm reacting to what my opponent is doing. Well, of course, the Robota can't do that, so there are certain circumstances in which the Robota will automatically attempt to play a tactics card. Being fired at is one of those chances. So the way that it's going to work is that when the Robota does it, the chance of them playing a tactics card is the amount of decks that we've played through plus 1 when it comes to a target number. So the target number has to be equal to or lesser than whatever that number is. For us, we've played through 0 decks, so 0 plus 1 equals 1. So the target number would have to be 1 or under. And of course, motherfucker. Alright, I gotta bleep that. It's a damn 1. So he plays a tactics card. I don't have a tactics card to play in response to that. So that applies a -20. So effectively, he's neutralizing my leadership card that I played. He's a dick, but that's okay. More than likely, we're still going to hit him. Once we've determined that he played his tactics card, now we've got all our modifiers out of the way that we need to account for. So I've got 82 plus the 10. I'm not even going to worry about my leadership card because he effectively canceled it. So I've got up to a 92 as a potential, and then -5 from his, which brings me down to an 87. So my target number to hit is 87 or under when we draw a battle card. So determine if the target is hit. Again, 96 through 100 is an automatic miss. Let's draw a card, and we get a 54. So bam, we have hit our target. Let's slide these out of the way because these have been played. So our first card here, 54. We have hit him. Now, we get to determine the hit location. If 2 fire cards are played, or we played more than 1 card, we get to choose, the player that fires gets to choose. Otherwise, you have to pull a battle card. Well, I played a couple of cards, so I get to choose where I want to hit him. Okay, so we have determined that we have hit, and I'm going to go with the turret as the location that I've hit him. Perfect. And we can see by looking at his battle card here, or his sheet here, that his turret armor is a 9. My base penetration level is a 10, so I'm already equal to or greater. This is one of the few times in the game where you want to be above rather than below a number. So right now I'm good, but there is another card draw to determine if it stays that way. We've determined the penetration value, and there can be terrain or other things that are modifying it. In our case, there isn't. So we have to determine if the target's penetrated. And to do that, we're going to draw a card, and we're going to look to the right side of this card, and that's going to be the penetration mod. All right. There are penetrations where if it says P, it's an automatic penetration. If it says B, as in boy, that's an automatic bounce. So there are automatic misses and hits as far as these are even concerned. But in this, we see it says +1. So the +1 means that I'm getting a +1 to my penetration value, which actually brings me up even higher. So we do know that we have penetrated the enemy tank. This is good for us. Okay, so now looking at it, we've penetrated, we've hit our target, we've done all that. Now we've actually got to the point where we determine the damage that we do. And you do this by doing a damage check. And to do a damage check, you're going to draw one of your damage cards. So let's flip one over for our enemy here. Now, there can be a potential for a critical hit, which is awesome if you blow them away really well. And the critical hit number here needs to match the target number on your penetration draw card. We see our target number here is a 6. This critical hit number is an 8, so we did not get a critical hit. So instead, we're going to look at the area that we hit, either turret, hull, or track, and then again, this is what I'm talking about. There's so much information on these cards that needs to be correlated to everything else. It gets mind-boggling. We have to look at the penetration mod color. If it's black, black and white like this is, that's considered light damage. If it were red like this one, that's considered heavy damage. So in our case, we got light damage done to the turret. So for light damage, in this case, the driver and loader are both killed, and you can tell that they're killed because they're in capital, okay? Capitalized, if the word is entirely capitalized, it means that the person has been just killed outright. If it is just, let's see if we can find one. Okay, like you see where the gunner is there, it says gunner, but it's not entirely capitalized. That means the person has just suffered one wound. The reason this says loader in parentheses is not everyone's going to have a loader. I don't think this guy, oh, no, they do. So both driver and loader are gone, and the enemy tank is now on fire. So we actually did a fair amount of damage to him. So let's set this to the side for a sec. And we grab ourselves an on fire card. This will go in their initiative box and affect them when it comes to their administration phase. It can potentially destroy the tank as well. Now we also remove these two counters to signify that both the driver and the loader have been killed. Okay, I actually retract something. I checked just to make sure I was right on this. The second person listed down, the one in parentheses, in our case, the loader, that one would only be killed if the first location were empty. In our case, the first location isn't empty, so the loader isn't going to be affected. So we do not get points for the loader. We'll put him back where he was. Didn't get both, but we did get the driver and the fire on him. Now, had the driver been gone, we would have killed the loader instead. Okay, I'm going to take it and retract it again. All right, let me explain what I did wrong first real quick, and then I'll touch on it. The fire that was on this card, it is not in all caps, and the fact that it's not in all caps means we check to see if it happens. It doesn't automatically happen. And this is one of my drawbacks with this game, is there's so many if this then that and this then that, and it's just hard as hell to keep track of everything. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's the fact that I have memory issues, but I can't be the only one that with this, I think it's a little more complex than the game designers and publishers give it credit for, because there are so many steps, especially when you're working with the Robota, that you're just having to check this and that and that and that. Now, I'm not saying that the game itself is hard. I think once you've played through it for a little while and have it under your belt in multiple games, yeah, you can be able to flow right through it, but you could say that about any game. This one isn't exactly conducive to a new player just sitting down and having a go at it. There's a lot of steps. It much more reminds me of Fields of Fire in the way that that game is handled than it does a beer and pretzel type war game. This is definitely not on that lighter spectrum. Okay, so we do have to determine whether or not there was a fire. So let's draw a card. And we can see by looking at the symbols that yes, there is a fire symbol there. So there will be a fire card applied to it. So nothing's changed for us as far as his damage check is concerned. So the left side of this card, all of this is damage, and then the right side is what you use when you're making a morale check. So even the damage cards themselves have a lot of information that you need to keep track of when it comes to this game. Okay, so on top of this, we've completed our damage that's been done to the enemy tank. We killed their driver and we set them on fire. But it doesn't end there. You do have to do the morale check after you do the damage check to see if the crew breaks or has anything else happen. And like I said, that's where these symbols on the right side of the card come into play, and they represent a multitude of different things. The skill level of the commander of the tank, whether or not you're on fire, I'm choking up here. So what's to keep track of? Basically, if any of these are true, then the crew breaks. And we break right here off the bat because we see there's green, seasoned, and then elite. In this case, the only crew that wouldn't break is a elite crew. The seasoned crew, by looking at your commander, you see he's seasoned, does have the red X, and when you have a red X, that means that the crew is broken. So let me grab the card, show you guys here. Same thing, broken, so they will have the penalty applied to them, and this will go under the fire card. All right, so right now this enemy tank is on fire and broken, and they'll have to resolve that on their next administration step. So you guys will see how that's going to operate as far as the game's concerned. So we can go ahead and score our points. Let me move these cards out of the way. And by looking at this card, the other crew is the one that we killed. So we do get the points for their driver. We didn't destroy the vehicle. We didn't kill the commander. So we're only getting 2 points for that crew member that we've taken out. And, oh, where's my victory points? Here we go. So we go boom, boom. Just like that, we're up to 2 points. That's your big money maker when it comes to this game, is to kill off the crew. Like I said previously, the vehicle itself was only 3 points, but the commander's 5. You know, and then especially if you're able to take out the other crew members in the tank, but there is the chance that they're going to bail out if the morale breaks. For example, if you're already broken, like this crew is, and you fail another morale check, then you automatically bail out of the tank, and then there's checks to see if they survive. If they survive trying to escape a fire or an explosion, and they, you know, don't get killed off, then you don't get those points. You'll get points for destroying the tank, or should I say, anybody that does die in the process, but anyone that escapes does not count towards your points. So, wow, yeah, that was a lot going on, man. I know. I don't know where to describe this game. It's really middle of the road for me right now. And I gotta say, it's not because I don't like it, right? I like games like this. I like games that I can really dig my fingers into, and especially ones that try something interesting, like abstracting everything like they've done here. And the fact that this game is so expandable, all that's really good. My big thing is the fact that there are just so many steps, not just with your own stuff, but with the Robota especially, just so many steps. And the fact that they do play extremely different from each other, that just, it throws me for a loop. This is not a game I'm going to sit down to relax with. This is a game that I'm going to sit down when I really want to, like, actually, focus and see what happens and what kind of decisions I can make. But if I'm wanting something just relaxing that I can chuck some dice at while I'm watching a movie on TV at the same time and drinking a beer, you know, something like that, this isn't going to be the game for that. You've got to be 2 heads into this one. I hate to say it, but I think this one would be better as a competitive game than a solitaire game. And you could say that about anything, but considering all my war games, I play solitaire. It's rare for me to say that, because I'll play one that just heads up against each other, you know, hex and counter based game, and not have any issue with it. I just think this one, the way everything interacts with each other, just having that other side, those other tanks, not have to be something that you're worrying about. You can focus solely on your own tanks. Having that part of the game taken off of you will give you a better chance of being able to think about what you're doing. And plus, then it has more of that got you moment, right? That Civilizations of the Ancient Sea, right? Or Ancient Civilizations of whatever. That one that I really liked with all the wooden counters. With that one, that had very much a gotcha moment going on as you're playing card after card after card against your opponent. And then your opponents are doing the same thing back to you, and you guys are just swinging it back and forth. This game I could see being a deeper abstracted version, you know, tank version of that, trying to figure out how best to play your cards to beat your opponent. When it comes to the solitaire version, it's almost like, well, how did the cards deal out? How well did I shuffle them? You know, which way are they going to go? Yes, you can make your decisions, but the AI's decisions are just left up to chance for the most part. And that really takes away a little bit of the gameplay. Like I said, I think they did a good job implementing a solo system into a game that doesn't have the ability to solo all that well, in my opinion. So I give them kudos. I mean, 100%, because everybody expects it. Like I've said, everyone wants a solitaire component, for the most part, in their games now. And I commend them for taking that step and coming up with a system that would work with these types of cards that they've developed. Really ingenious. It's just so in-depth on top of everything else. This game, it's either really for you and one you're really going to like, or it's not going to be for you at all. I don't think there's a middle ground as far as this is concerned. For me, the reason I'm saying I'm kind of stuck in the middle is I like games like this, but I only like them at certain times. Sometimes I do want something lighter. Sometimes I just want to sit back and relax. And then sometimes I'm in the mood for this. You know, it's how it is. All right, but let's finish out my round so we can get this video finished up, and we'll pick up and do the AIs, because I especially want you guys to see how the administration is going to work with them having On Fire and Broken. So it's kind of good that it worked out that way for them. I do have 3 cards left in my hand. Let's see. I think I might actually just hold on to all these, because this would give me a chance to move. Both of these are dual cards, having fire and move on them, so it would give me chances. There's cover markers that I can use. These actually give me a good set of options for the next turn. If anything, I might like discard that one, but to move, no. Actually, yeah, we'll discard this one. I don't think we're going to need it. But that gives me a couple of cards that I can move or fire for the next turn, and then a chance to draw up some more. All right, so I was trying to shoot a little faster on this video, but again, it took me a little while. It's like I said, it's just so many damn steps, and I want to stop and talk about it every now and so often so I can let you guys know what my thoughts are as far as all this is concerned. I need to discard those. We'll pick up, like I said, with the AI, let you see how the Roboto is going to operate now that they've had it stuck to them. I'm kind of interested to see how the Roboto is going to operate with the driver being dead. So now they can't move. They're stuck in the mud. They don't see me. They're not officially in peril yet, the way that that worked, but more than likely they'll be in peril on their next turn because of the damage that they've taken. I don't know how the AI would operate on this one. They would have to try to either back off. They can't repair. They got to move somebody over into the driver's seat. So that would be a thing, because right now they're not mobile unless they do that. They've got to do that. They can move their assistant driver over fairly easily and be able to continue moving at that point. But let's see how the AI is going to handle it with someone dead. They're on fire. They could potentially burn up in their administration check anyway, or have their morale break. And then it would just be a fresh tank regardless. I would just get points for whoever died. We'll have to see how that plays out. All right, but we're going to cut it here. Like I said previously, if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, moans, bitches, gripes, complaints, all that good stuff, feel free to put it down below, and I will help out if I can. Y'all take care. I'll catch you in the next one.